right, let's bring in the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Issa-Onilu. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my
on
pleasure.
Newsnight. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Where do we start from on the issue of President Tinubu's reforms, or you want to say the reforms of this administration? Let me quote the Labour leader's statement at that event. Common people left toasted by Tinubu's economic reforms. And the question has been asked at that event, Tinubu's reforms, the losers and the winners. Who exactly are they?
Well, we are all going to be the winners. And definitely to be winners, we must do whatever is necessary to ensure that once and for all this country gets it right. We cannot continue to manage a structure that we know is defective and is on the verge of collapsing, and everybody is running away from taking that decisive step to bring down the structure and lay that solid foundation. Of course, for the time being, if you're left outside, there will be sun, there will be rain, but you are comforted with the fact that you know that when the structure is up, you're going to have something solid that for now and for future, we will not going to be in this kind of situation anymore. So we cannot continue to manage what we know is obviously unmanageable.
In specific terms, I mean, manage what now? Yeah,
we know before now that the issue of the fuel subsidy and every single candidate, including the Labour leader, Ajero, who just spoke, believed that the subsidy must go. So whoever had won the election, this country expected such person to keep up to the promise, which is to remove the subsidy. The political will to do it, well, of course, they may fail eventually, but with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know he has the will. And that's what he did, not second day after he's sworn in, right at the venue. Yes, that is the structure. The economy relies so much on oil. And for several years, over 2 decades, we've been living in denial, deceiving ourselves. So once and for all, we need to face this headlong.
No, we're trying to face that, and as we're doing that, if you also noticed, you also notice that the opposition, the kind of politics they're playing is the kind of politics that will spur us to development. Lately, the conversation has become less toxic. People are talking about asking questions of the president, and it brings us to some of the key concerns. The everyday Nigerian should be winners. Everyone should be winners, and it breaks anyone's heart. In your capacity as the DG of NOA and the party man, it should worry you that the everyday Nigerian that we thought would be having their daily bread on account of the handout that the government intended to give to them, perhaps that there's been a pause, a hold in that, owing to some questions that are being asked some of the managers of that policy. So how do we quickly get them, get succor to them when you talk about winners? Because these people, they're not winners.
Well, see, we must all admit that it was quite, very shocking to all of us that happened. And see, the thing of joy in all of this is that we have a president who does not waste time in taking decisions, no matter how difficult it is. It's unprecedented to see the president immediately springing into action and suspended the minister that was involved, suspended the person that was managing the Social Investment Agency, and immediately empaneled a ministerial committee to look into all of this and ensure that the succor that is meant for the ordinary man gets to them. And I can confirm to you that this committee of ministers have been meeting consistently, and very soon they are going to come out with a more robust approach to ensuring that, don't forget that this is palliative.
Yeah.
It's a short-term measure. And beneath all of this, there is, concrete steps being taken to ensure fundamental reforms happen in the economy, such that in a year, 2 years' time, we will see concrete outcomes that will be far-reaching and will be enduring and sustainable. And never, ever would Nigeria find itself in a situation where it had to go through this kind of hardship anymore.
Well, on the issue of, the readiness of the president to step up to the plate when it comes to taking decisions, some depends on which side of the divide you belong. Some are praising the president for, taking action, suspension, though it is. But some would say that the willingness to sack or to remove non-performing or ministers or public officers who are seen or alleged to have done wrong, maybe they're just the expendables, that the powerful ones are really not even being investigated on the issue of even the palliatives that, you talk about the humanitarian ministry sleaze, if you like.
Well, I am not aware of any report or petition against any minister that has not been attended to. Even the one that was made against the Minister of Interior, the president summoned him immediately. And upon being satisfied that he has not broken any law, so what else are we going to talk about? It's about law. If he has broken any law, of course, there should be an action. But he hasn't broken any law. The one that has broken law, supposedly, is on suspension. If eventually they find out that it's not infringe on any of our laws, she would be brought back. So there is no any minister or government official that I'm aware today that has been put through any petition or there's an allegation against him or her, and the president has refused to act. We all know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not a new happening in this country. It's been around for some time.
Yeah.
We know what it does, what it can do.
So how long will the Nigerian who is in dire need of this support wait? Because this is January and it's one of the longest months according to every Nigerian there, and I'm quite sure you go through the same pain looking at the constituents around you asking for means of yes. So how soon are we likely to see this come back?
Yeah, well, we listen every day to the people who are managing the economy, both from the Ministry of Finance, the CBN, the FIRS, all the people that are involved, the tax reform, all these fundamental structures that are necessary are being activated, and people are put in charge, and they are working seriously to ensure that we have our country back as soon as possible. But in the meantime, Nigerians must see some level of comfort, no matter how little. And that is what the president has been working on. There have been a series of palliatives. He's giving money to the state to also support them to ensure that this gets to the grassroots.
Has that started?
It's not just only started. Many states complied, did marvelously well with 5 billion that the federal government gave to them. Many states also augmented this provision. Because
I asked that because I recall that just before the end of the Yuletide, the National Assembly member from Kwara State actually complained that they didn't get any for their constituents.
The National Assembly, I meant
yes.
What I'm aware of are the governors.
Okay.
And that was announced, and no governor has come out to say I didn't receive, my support. That was.
Is there an amount? Sorry, is there an amount?
I'm aware of 5 billion.
5 billion
to the
each.
states.
To each state. Good.
Very quickly before we let you go, let's talk about plugging the loopholes that allow for public officers to even misbehave. In the first place, are there mechanisms to ensure that when, you're assigned a job as a minister of whatever, that you're deterred from actually, taking the action of putting your hands in the public till?
Yeah, I think the first thing that we should look at is the antecedents of the president. He did it in Lagos. And we have a smooth running administration in Lagos from one governor to another. The structure, the system is in place. So until we institutionalize all of these processes, we'll have issues. And that is what the president is doing. It's instructive that part of the immediate actions he took was to bring a tax reform committee in place. Because that is fundamental. The oil sector reform is almost rounding off. We have the refinery coming on stream, the private sector input through Dangote Group. We have the Paracourt.
Yeah, we understand that, but my point is plugging the loopholes that allow for corruption.
Yeah, the plugging of loopholes, even just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, because it's when you have resources to keep that you begin to have some kind of ideas. Now, even the revenue generating agencies have been asked to bring all the monies back to the treasury. Unlike before, where you hold billions, in an account, and then you begin to develop some kind of funny ideas about it. So government is trying to ensure that all revenues are collected, and come to the same pot, and then it is managed, efficiently.
Do we expect to see the sack of non-performing ministers anytime soon?
I think the president said that much himself.
Okay, all right. We'll have to say thank you very much.
My pleasure.
For joining us. Lanre Issa-Onilu is the DG National Orientation Agency. It will be nice to have you, sometime soon. Let's talk about orientation for Nigerians, getting Nigerians to think
to do that.
the way they should. Thank you very much.